I got like cold, clammy hands. I was like, wait, did I have boogers hanging out of my nose? Like, what is going on? Hey, everybody. Welcome to the inaugural episode of I Hate Dating Apps. I'm Jinah Kim.
And I'm Daniel E.
So I am an entrepreneur, part-time journalist, and for the purposes of this podcast, I am a single mom looking for love, recently joined dating apps, and I'm always looking for the light at the end of that dating app tunnel.
And I'm just Gina's sidekick. I'm just here to give her some foil so she can take all of her frustrations with men and dating apps, because I'm a good friend of hers. But all kidding aside, my role here is to really try and help Gina calm down a little bit and not hate dating apps so much. And maybe help you guys out there figure out why we hate dating apps so much.
I would say that that is pretty accurate, because I am kind of like the spice and you're kind of like the water. I'm like the fire to your whatever.
Water sounds so bland, though.
I know. Okay.
Can I be the? No, I can't be the Scotch, because then it will the fire will just really take off.
Anyway, you get.
Hey, you know
point.
what? Not to get too Asian or anything, but how about we say you're the yin and I'm the yang.
I'm the yin and you're the yang.
There you go.
Whatever spicier is. I don't know whether yin or yang is spicier, but I'm the spicier one, and he's always here to calm me down. And the genesis of how this podcast got started is that I've been divorced for 2 years. I joined dating apps at the urging of friends, and also because I found myself incredibly lonely one night. It was like a Saturday night. It was not my custody week, and I had been alone for like 4 days straight in my house doing work from home. And I was like, wait a second, like I'm going to be an old person before I know it, and I'll have nothing to show for myself in terms of relationships. So let me see what all this dating app hoopla is about. So I downloaded one of the apps, and it was mind-blowing. Within the first 3 hours of creating my profile on this dating app, I had 1,500 likes. And I was like, this cannot possibly be happening. This is a total scam. And so in the beginning, I was thoroughly enjoying, overwhelmed, but I was thoroughly enjoying my dating app experience. And I was a prolific dater. And most of the people that I went out on dates with were pretty decent. And then I get matched with a guy named Raz. That's right, Raz. Talking about you. WeHo. Spends a lot of time in Downey, even though you live in WeHo. Have a property in Orange County. Yeah, you. All right. Ladies, you will not believe this experience, okay?
Guys, you'll completely understand this story, but go ahead.
They better not. If guys are understanding this story, do not swipe right on me. But anyway, okay. So Raz and I match up, and we go out on a date. And he's like, hey, meet me at Crave Cafe in Sherman Oaks. And I was like, totally know where that is. Let's go. So we meet up, and then we're at the counter ordering lunch. I have a salmon salad and a Diet Coke. And he goes, I don't want anything. And he steps back from the counter, okay? And I'm like, what is going on here? He is visibly walking away, like backpedaling away from the counter. And I was like, wait, am I supposed to pay for this? That'd be kind of untraditional, unusual. But I was like, should I pull out my wallet? What is he doing? I was just so confused. I didn't know what was happening. And then I think I hemmed and hawed long enough to where he was like, let out a big sigh. And he pulled out his wallet and he slaps his credit card on the counter. They run it. And then I'm like, weird vibes. All right, this date is off to a horrific start. But we sit down outside, we're doing the small talk. And then he's just looking more and more upset every second. So I go, I'm sorry, are you okay? And he goes, why wouldn't I be okay? And I was like, because to be honest, you look a little shell-shocked. And he goes, well, now that you said that, I'm more uncomfortable. And I was like, is it something I did? Is it something I said? But honestly, I had met the dude like fucking 5 minutes ago, okay? So there's nothing I could have done or said. And then he goes, you know what? I will order something. And he goes inside the cafe. 5 minutes go by. 10 minutes go by and you see what's coming. I realize he fucking left. So I look inside the cafe. Sure enough, no sign of Raz. And I felt I was in the Twilight Zone.
He's halfway to WeHo by then.
He's halfway to WeHo / Downey / Orange County by then. And so I was like, this cannot be happening to me. And I don't know, like I got like cold, clammy hands. I was like, wait, did I have boogers hanging out of my nose? Like, what is going on? And then finally it sinks in that I need to just get up and leave. So I get up, I go inside the cafe, and I go, excuse me, but could I take my salmon salad to go? And the guy at the counter goes, oh, that guy canceled your salad.
Oh, because he had paid for it. Canceled
my salad because he fucking paid for it. And he was so sore about the $16 salad. And then he took off.
What did you do to piss him off so bad?
What the fuck, Daniel? Okay, that was not what a sidekick is supposed to say.
That is crazy, though. That is just crazy. The guy just walk away. Yeah.
Okay, and I was like, who does shit like this? First of all, there are 20 different ways you can handle that, right? You're not feeling it for some reason. The best thing you could have done is to just sit there 30 minutes and said, you know what? I totally forgot that I have a basket weaving class. Oh my God. Like,
I just remembered I
have a basket weaving class today. And I would have been like, I totally get you, Raz. You go on your merry way, right? Or you could have just said, actually, I'm also not feeling it. So I'm so sorry. I hate to do this to you, but enjoy your salad. Whatever. The last thing on that list to do is to fucking do what Raz did. All right. And so I remember we met for dinner. And I was like, Daniel, you won't believe what happened to me. And I was telling you about this story. And I'm like, what kind of a sociopathic, like, you know, socially fucking rude, unhuman, ridiculous dude do you have to be to do something like that? And I remember you were like, well, Jinah, it wasn't that he didn't want to pay for the lunch. It was a fuck you, Jinah.
Yes.
Yeah, when he left, he was so upset that he had to pay for my lunch that it might have just been a fuck you. But even then, why? Why would a guy, okay, who potentially met the love of his life, right? I could have been the love of his life. I could have been his soulmate that he was expecting to meet. But the $16 fucking salad is what, like, how do you get such tunnel vision that you can't see the big picture and go, okay, traditionally the guy pays for the first date. It was a $16 fucking salad, Raz. I think you can afford it. She might be the love of your life. Like, let's just hear this out. But instead, he goes directly to that. And I was like, Daniel, I fucking hate dating apps. And you were like, now, Jinah. And then it ended up being a 5-hour conversation. And then subsequently we had 2-hour conversations and 3-hour conversations. And we were like, we might have something here.
Yeah, because you wouldn't stop talking about Raz.
Sorry. Raz, you know what it is? Raz is a symptom of a bigger problem.
It is.
He is that little mole
100%
that starts a skin cancer, and then before you know it, you're chopping off your arm.
Raz, congratulations. You got us started on a podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Raz. I really should be thanking him.
Yeah, you should
thank you, Raz. Fuck you, Raz. But anyway, all right.
As soon as you told me that story, like I peppered you with questions. I had all kinds of observations, and you're onto something. I read somewhere, I heard in one of the podcasts, you know, it was about the algorithm of dating apps and how they match people. And by the way, we can talk about this for hours and hours about the algorithm and how it doesn't actually help you find love, but it's all designed for you to stay on the app and get people engaged. And there's plenty of other podcasts and literature out there on that. But the thing that this young woman said, I was offended that this app thought I was a match with this guy. The dating apps, they want you swiping left and right. They want you to go out with Raz because then you'll come back and you're like, maybe the next guy won't be like Raz, you know?
Well, so I think that gets to the heart of why I hate dating apps. Because you literally get matched with 1,500 people in the first hour of signing up. And 8 months later, not one of them has been a match for me. And so it's just like this extremely kind of exhausting, jading, soul-sucking experience, because you are swiping endlessly and you just think, is that him? Is that him? And so I was so frustrated, because in order to find love in this day and age, you have to go on a dating app.
Like everything
it's almost
else,
like creepy to not meet somebody on a dating app now. Nobody ever goes up to people at like Il Fornaio, or whatever, Cheesecake Factory, and go, hey, I think you're really cute.
It's definitely a thing. So there's already research on that. Stanford University had this study. Before 2013, most of the people, more than half of the people who met people that they went on dates with, met their friends and family. After 2013, according to the Stanford University review, more than half of the people after 2013 started, meeting online on apps. And what happened in 2013?
So the scale tilted.
The scale tilted, right? And part of it has to do with the internet, the World Wide Web, online. And with that, also the waning of the stigma around online dating. Because before, only losers went online dating, like myself. I was one of the pioneers. Thank you. Now it's the de facto mode, right? And to your point, if you look at the survey, we have actually more of a love-hate relationship with apps, because as much as you're saying that you hate apps, you're still using the apps because
I know, right? That's why I hate it so much, because I hate it, but I still have to use it.
Yeah.
Because what? I'm just going to go off apps, and then what? I mean, my girlfriend and I actually talked about this. I have so many girlfriends that are also on apps, and they're always like, we have like entire threads on text messages ranting and raving about dating app stories, horror stories. And then one of my girlfriends and I were like, let's meet people in real life. And she's like, yeah. And so we're like, where are we going to go? And she was like,
church.
No. Yeah, neither she or I go to church. And I was like, how about a bar? And she goes, great, where? And I was like, a hotel? And she's like, what are we going to do at a hotel bar? And I was like, I don't know. Okay, that's a horrible idea. How about we go to a comedy club? And she was like, yeah. So we actually went to a comedy club shortly after.
Hold on. I have to listen. I have to analyze this. So you guys went bar. No, we don't want to go to a bar because that's too sleazy. Is that
it's like a little meat market? Too desperate.
So you decided to go to a comedy club where everybody's supposed to be watching somebody on stage talking.
But you're surrounded, right, so it's like the audience is very kind of like next to each other, and the comedians like picking on people left and right.
But this is exactly the reason why we're having such a hard time, right? Because it's fucking hard to meet people these days.
Well, I know. So it's like, so we go to this comedy club, and then like at the end of it, I'm like, Lorna, is there anybody that, because the whole point of us going to this comedy club was to try to like have an IRL experience and hopefully find a cute guy. And then we're just like, nah. So we just bolted out of there. Like, we didn't even give anybody who might have thought we were cute a chance to approach us, because we were just like, pa-chow!
The perfect end to that scene would be you guys all leave the comedy club, and then you all bring out your smartphones and go on Tinder.
And get on Tinder, yeah.
Sorry. And we all surrender to technology sooner or later.
Right. It says like, this person's 2 feet away, and you'd still swipe on them, right, even if they're 2 feet away.
Yeah, think about like everything that we just rail against in modern times. Like we rail against, technology and stuff, but we all use it. Like, I'm not saying that technology is bad. I'm not being a Luddite by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it helps for us to understand how these tools are designed to function, right? I think at the end of the day, technology amplifies who we are as people. So Raz would be a douchebag with or without dating apps.
He's got
right?
no balls.
You just makes it easier.
You have no balls.
No balls Raz.
No balls Raz.
No balls Raz. Oh my God, I have never even met this guy. We're just railing on him.
But just based on my story, right?
Yes.
He's got no balls.
Yeah. So Raz, you're a piece of shit human being with no balls. But I think to me, the deeper truth here is about the fact that people like Raz are on dating apps now. And Raz might have done damage to 5 or 6 women a year, 10 years ago. Now Raz does damage to 20, 30 women a month.
Oh, I
because
am
of
for
Tinder.
sure not the only person that he has slowly crept away from the counter from, that he has
I'm sure it's not the
canceled
first time.
dinners
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So he's just a prolific asshole.
We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Our sponsor, Take My Face Off, makes swiping off your makeup just as easy as swiping past a bad profile. Seriously, the MIDI from Take My Face Off is this adorable facial mitt that makes skin cleansing faster, easier, and more thorough than any other method I've tried. I seriously love this product. Next time you're tempted to grab a face wipe, use a MIDI instead. It's just as fast, but it's better for your skin and the planet. Get free shipping with the discount code DATING at takemyfaceoff.com. I know you're busy going on dates, but who's looking out for your family's legacy? Seriously, someone needs to tell your future kids what it was like for grandma or grandpa growing up on the farm, or how hard it was for them to walk to school uphill, both ways, in the rain and the snow. Tell Me Your Tale is a video production company based in Los Angeles that does nothing but create family legacy videos. They'll interview your loved one, either virtually or in person if you're local to Los Angeles, then edit the footage into a gorgeous professional video. Chapter by chapter, you'll preserve your loved one's life story as told by them, in their voice, with their smiles. Give yourself, your elders, and your children the gift of a lifetime by preserving precious family memories. Go to tellmeyourtale.com.
One of the most interesting things that you brought out was why I hate dating apps so much and why dating apps are so frustrating. And you brought up the swipe and the gamification. So why don't you talk about that?
I think the whole concept of swiping left or right on people, think about it. These are people, right? And you're making snap judgments about they're worthy or not worthy. And it makes it so easy. It's like all you need is your thumb. So you just swipe to the left. All you know is that there's a picture of that person and a name, right?
And maybe a job title. Yeah.
And a job title, right? But subconsciously, I think we get sort of addicted to that feeling of power because you fool yourself into think that you have all those choices. But you don't really. When I was in dating apps before, my wife and I met on Match.com, I was online and I tried OkCupid at the time. It was online and Tinder was just starting to come out. I didn't go to Tinder because back then Tinder was the hookup app. And it made sense because it's so convenient. On Match.com or OkCupid, you had to fill out forms and say, and by the way, that was all bullshit.
Sit in
too.
front of a computer.
Yeah, right. And I was diligent. I'm very analytical. So I actually filled out all of the forms. I read all of the profiles.
So did I.
Right. And I don't regret having done that because that's
how you
who
met your
I
third
am.
wife.
And yeah, that's how I behave, right? But I had friends who said, "Oh, dude, you're doing it all wrong. It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. You just put your name into some cute photos and stuff, and then you just hit like on every single woman." And so
I've heard that.
Yeah. So think about it. Like, statistics are statistics. Nothing is a 0%. So even if it's like 1% chance that somebody will respond, they just go, "Oh no, that means I have to do 100," and then one woman will, respond back. Mm-hmm. So if I want 5 women, Asians are good with math, so I can do the math. That's 500 women I have to reach out to. And I got 5 likes, right? So it has dehumanized something. What is more human than love? What is more human than actually connecting with other people? And we're using this cold, heartless app invented by people who want to fucking make money, with you engaging in it. And then we look back and say, why isn't this working? Because it wasn't supposed to work. It's not supposed to work the way you're expecting it to work. It works the way they want it to work. It works for some people, by the way. And these are very broad generalizations, obviously. But if you're a guy who's trying to hook up, to use what the kids are saying these days, apps are great. We live in a world of transactional romance. I actually heard another young lady say, it's like, she's tried to find love on Tinder for years and years, and she keeps going back to it, even though she hates it so much. And
I
she said, you know
know.
what she said? She said, Tinder actually helped me be better at being alone because she'll go and she'll fulfill that human contact or intimacy or fake intimacy for a little while. So she'll hook up, right? And she's like, I've got a pretty good life. I've got a good job. I've got a good home. I've got, I'm well put together. I'm a good person. So kudos to her for being a very confident, like she doesn't go, what's wrong with me? Nobody loves me. She's like, this is the world I live in. And it's really hard to find love. But if you want companionship for a weekend, go on Tinder, find somebody, and I think the flip side of it, if you're looking for love, we're going about the wrong way. And that's why we hate dating apps.
And yet, we both agree, dating apps aren't going anywhere.
They're absolutely not going anywhere.
A friend of mine said, I used to think it was just death and taxes, but now I'm starting to think it's death, taxes, and dating apps.
I would actually say it's death, taxes, and love. And because
some people don't find love.
No, what I'm saying is it's the certainties in life are death, taxes, and love. And because we're such fools for love, the reality
quest
of the
for
day.
love. So
yeah,
you
the
mean
quest for love, yeah.
Death, taxes, and the quest for
And the
love.
quest for
I would
love,
agree
yeah.
with that. I know that this is a podcast called I Hate Dating Apps, and I know I've really harped on the negative experiences, but I'm not saying I didn't have positive experiences. In fact, most of my dating experience on the dating apps have been positive. Part of me has fallen into the trap of, well, this guy is super sweet and all, but I'm just going to see what else is out there because I've got 1,500 other likes, right? So it's almost like the app is damned if you do, damned if you don't. There's all these people that I could be dating, but I probably do buy into FOMO. And what I find most sad, perhaps, about this is that, so here's all these guys that I do match with that do like me, that are on paper amazing, and I still can't find anyone because you have to reciprocate that love, right? It's just, they might be a connection for them to me, but I'm not a connection for them. Like I'm not feeling anything,
Was it like the lack of chemistry? Like
It's just
what
that
was?
I am looking for lightning, and I felt it before. I was married to one before, and I know what that feels like.
Fair enough. Well,
I don't want to lead a guy on if I
yeah.
can tell right away by date number 2
Right.
that he's not my lightning. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think
no
most
chemistry,
girls
no
kind of know.
physics.
What?
No chemistry, no physics.
There are a lot of guys that I met that I had chemistry with, not going to lie. And there are a lot of guys
hold
that
on.
I met.
So you're saying it's not even lack of chemistry. You're looking for something
The
more than chemistry.
package. We are all
Well,
looking
what is
for
the
the whole
package, though?
package, Daniel.
What is the package, Jinah?
The package is somebody who we are crazy about, that it's a je ne sais quoi, right? Like you just can't wait to be with this person. At the end of the day, you're craving being with this person. You can't wait for this person to text you. You can't wait to return their text.
What are some qualities that would make you feel that way, or is it just an intangible thing, like you just know when you find that person?
I would say what floats my boat, what's lightning to me, is going to be different for every woman, right?
Sure,
but
that's what-
everybody knows that it's a certain number of criteria plus the secret sauce. And
Wait, everybody knows that?
everybody knows
Do you
that
guys
there's
know
a
that? Does
secret
everybody know
sauce
that?
to a relationship. Yes.
It's all the check boxes and a secret sauce.
Everybody has a different set of check boxes. Somebody has
Yes,
to check those
true,
boxes.
right.
But then they also have to have the secret sauce. And that is a secret sauce for good reason, because it's secret. And you don't really know what it is until you meet it, until you see it in the flesh. And then instantly it's like, bam, lightning.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I think it's never been easier to meet people. And at the same time, it's never been harder to meet people.
Yes.
Right?
I know that it's just a sign of the times. Dating apps are where we are. I get that. There's no going backwards. The genie is out of the bottle. So how do we navigate this? I think that is the point of this show.
Absolutely,
Through
yeah.
this show, We would love to, first of all, hear everybody's stories, your worst dating app stories. Tell us about your ghosting. Tell us about those cringy profiles. Tell us about the dick pics. And what the fuck
please
is up
don't tell
with
us about the dick pics. I don't
pics?
want to talk about dick pics.
Okay, let's not talk about dick pics. Or maybe we will. But we want to hear your stories about why you hate dating apps. And maybe in talking about this together, we'll somehow learn some nuggets along the way that help us to navigate this world a little bit better, help us feel a little less jaded, and help us hopefully not give up hope, and ultimately meet the love of our lives.
That's the goal. Don't ever lose hope.
Thank you so much for joining us for this inaugural episode of I Hate Dating Apps. I'm Jinah.
And I'm Daniel.
And we'll see you next time. In the meantime, dating apps. You can't love with them?
And you can't love without them.
God damn it. See you later.
I hate dating apps.
Hey, app daters and haters, tell us your dating app experience, and we just might bring you on as a guest for future episodes. Head to IHateDatingApps.com and click on the big yellow Tell Us Your Story button. You can't miss it. We've got a lot of fun content on our social channels, so please follow us at I Hate Dating Apps on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And on Instagram, we're at I Hate Dating Apps Pod. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast.